Russia's war in Ukraine. What we're covering here. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi met with President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kyiv on Saturday, leading the first official U.S. congressional delegation to Ukraine since Russia's invasion. The Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol has been largely destroyed by Russian missile strikes, according to new satellite images. A Ukrainian commander said that some civilians were evacuated after a ceasefire was introduced Saturday. Multiple explosions rocked the southern city of Odessa on Saturday, destroying an airport runway, Zelensky said in his nightly address. Ukraine claims to have destroyed more than 1,000 Russian tanks, nearly 200 Russian aircraft, and almost 2,500 armored vehicles. Russia claims to have destroyed 2656 tanks and armored vehicles, 142 aircraft, and 112 helicopters. Pelosi leads first official U.S. delegation to Ukraine since war began. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made an unannounced trip to the Ukrainian capital on Saturday, becoming the most senior United States official to meet with President Volodymyr Zelensky since the war broke out more than 2 months ago. Pelosi's office confirmed the trip in a statement on Sunday, saying that the speaker had led an official congressional delegation to Ukraine, the first since Russia's invasion. Zelensky shared a video on Sunday of their meeting in Kyiv and thanked the U.S. for its powerful support of Ukraine against Russian aggression. "We are visiting you to say thank you for your fight for freedom, that we're on a frontier of freedom, and that your fight is a fight for everyone," Pelosi said to Zelensky in the clip. "And so our commitment is to be there for you until the fight is done." The trip to Kyiv by Pelosi, who is second in line to succeed the president, signals a significant measure of commitment to supporting Ukraine from the most senior level of U.S. leadership. Our congressional delegation had the solemn opportunity and extraordinary honor of meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other top Ukrainian officials in Kyiv, according to the news release. Our delegation conveyed our respect and gratitude to President Zelensky for his leadership, and our admiration of the Ukrainian people for their courage in the fight against Russia's oppression. Pelosi was joined by several other senior members of Congress, including Gregory Meeks of New York, the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and Adam Schiff of California, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee. "When we return to the United States, we will do so further informed, deeply inspired, and ready to do what is needed to help the Ukrainian people as they defend democracy for their nation and for the world," the release ends. Lev Gorankin writes on refugee and immigrant identity as well as Ukraine, Russia, and the far right. He is the author of the memoir A Backpack, a Bear, and 8 Crates of Vodka. The opinions expressed in this commentary are his own. View more opinion on CNN. The placards were upbeat, but then again it was the Soviet Union where the placards were always upbeat. They boasted of industrial and harvest quotas being met, tractors and tanks produced ahead of schedule, of glory to communism, and to Vladimir Lenin, the founder of Soviet Russia. I was 6 years old, and out with my parents watching the placards and flags in Kharkov, now called Kharkiv, the second largest city in Ukraine. We were almost back at our apartment block when I heard my grandma yell from the balcony, telling my mother to get me inside. She had heard a rumor that there was an accident at the nuclear plant in Chernobyl, a little less than 300 miles from Kharkiv. It was May 1, 1986, and one of the biggest holidays in the Soviet year. A celebration of workers and peasants, and the Kremlin never passed up an opportunity to hold a parade, even in the middle of the worst nuclear disaster in history. The Chernobyl explosion happened on April 26, 1986. 5 days before the May Day parade, but Moscow had remained silent, refusing to admit anything had occurred until the radioactive cloud from Chernobyl was detected in Scandinavia on April 28, making it impossible to hide the catastrophe any longer. Even after the Kremlin was forced to acknowledge an incident at its nuclear plant, it grossly downplayed the issue. Now, 36 years later, Russia is still keeping its citizens in the dark. This time about the true picture of its war in Ukraine.